And as the Azerbaijani government says that it is responsible for the people who are there, as it is Azerbaijani territory. To tell us more about it, we have an advisor to President Aliyev, Mr. Hikmet Hajiyev, with us. Thank you very much for joining us. Tell us about the situation of the people in Nagorno-Karabakh and how is the aid reaching people?
In Yevlakh, Azerbaijani representative also had a meeting with a representative of Armenian residents of Karabakh region of Azerbaijan, and within that meeting, the broad agenda has been discussed, and also Azerbaijan's proposals with regard to social, economic, and political reintegration. In the meantime, humanitarian issues. And on that meeting, we have identified what are the local requirements and needs, and immediately Azerbaijani government has reacted. Upon the decree of Azerbaijani president and under the deputy prime minister, special working group has been established, but it involves all appropriate government institutions. We are receiving inquiries, but immediately responding to that inquiries. First, humanitarian delivery has been rendered to Karabakh Armenians through the Aghdam-Khankandi road, and it has already reached destination and distributed for the local residents. And in the meantime, there was a special need for oil and gasoline, especially for electricity generator machines, and it also been provided yesterday. In the meantime, we are working with an ICRC and Russian peacekeepers on the ground, and through their channels also to ameliorate humanitarian situation and also to respond to the needs and requirements on the ground. And Azerbaijan, as a goodwill gesture, ensured further operationality of Lachin-Khankandi road for the ICRC deliveries to Khankandi. And in the meantime, we are also providing and asking that if any kind of need for the ICRC, for the logistic support of Azerbaijani government, and we will ameliorate. And in the meantime, ICRC asked us for a passage of additional personnel, and we also positively reacted to that. In the meantime, we are also assessing the situation on the ground and trying to deliver our targeted humanitarian deliveries to the local population on the ground. But along with that, Azerbaijan is also preparing its own plan with regard to short-term and mid-term political, economic, and social reintegration.
That is going to be my next question, that it is important that there is stability, this flare-up of violence doesn't happen, because the pictures that we've been seeing from Stepanakert, which is known as Khankandi in Azerbaijan, is people hunkering in bunkers, damage to a lot of property. How are you going to avoid that in the future?
Really, the situation is currently stable to an extent, except in some very sporadic actions at a very low level on the ground. Important thing is that on the 20th September, counter-offense has already halted because counter-terrorism actions on the ground has been halted, and because on the condition that the local armed forces on the ground, and they will disarm, and this disarmament has also been started, and demobilization has already started, because yesterday within a so-called regime has already made a statement that dissolving their armed forces, or so-called their Minister of Defense, and we are also started the process of collecting arms and ammunition. But of course, it's another issue that we have been surprised even to see such a huge amount of ammunition and weapons accumulated in that area. It's probably the most militarized area on the ground. For the peaceful reintegration process, that's called the DDR. The demobilization, disarmament are crucial components of the peaceful reintegration process. I think that with this disarmament process is also going on the ground, but with regard to the local population on the ground and local residents, Azerbaijan is ready to provide all humanitarian assistance, and Azerbaijan's agenda about peaceful reintegration, as also the actions on the ground once again demonstrated that how Azerbaijan was carefully approaching with residents and civilian residents on the ground and avoiding by all means any kind of collateral damage. But in the meantime, what we see on the ground, that Azerbaijani civilian, military, and police personnel on the ground are helping the civilians and bringing them to hospitals in case of need, and providing food and shelter. In immediate aftermath of every conflict situation, there are humanitarian issues are emerging. But important thing that first, Azerbaijani government has a stronger willingness, and we provide the rights and security of Karabakh residents. And in the meantime, we have all necessary means in terms of the humanitarian support and in terms of the social economic reintegration.
There's a significant announcement that you just told me about from your president, that there is going to be an amnesty for the civilians living in Stepanakert, Khankandi, and the Nagorno-Karabakh, but there are some conditions attached to it. Can you please tell us more about it?
Really, with the civilians, there is no question as well, because simply Azerbaijan considers with civilians its own citizens, and we do perceive
But the people who've been fighting against...
Yes, of course. With regard to them, as part of the 20th September of halting the counter-terrorist actions, Azerbaijan made it very clear that who puts guns down from the Second Karabakh War, 44 days war, and the recent engagement, simply they are free. And here we should differentiate two groups of people. One group is servicemen of the armed forces of the Republic of Armenia. If they also put the gun down and they can return back to the Republic of Armenia. As part of this armament, it's also a demobilization process as such. And also local residents who were holding their arms, and if they put also their guns down, and they can return to their barracks and from there to demobilize. Simply, they are free. And here should be better understanding for everybody what is the differentiation. Differentiation, we are talking about there are some selective couple of people who in the first Karabakh war committed crimes, war crimes against Azerbaijani civilians in a very broader scale. We are talking about them, and mainly they were at the leadership of the so-called illegal regime. Again, these are particular individuals and selective individuals, but we are talking about that. But with a majority male generation, male population, we don't have a problem. In a broader sense, with the civilians, and we shouldn't have a problem, as on the contrary, we are inviting them, and we are trying to reach out to the different channels. I would also really commend the very first fact that direct engagement of central Azerbaijani government invited representatives of Armenian residents of Karabakh to have a direct communication on the broad agenda of the issues, including the political integration model, social economic issues, and they asked on certain issues, and central government of Azerbaijan immediately reacted and will continue to do so, and then more intensive meetings are coming forward as well to meet all of these immediate requirements.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hikmet Hajiyev, President Advisor to the President.